everyone, it's Marsha. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm super excited to share with you this easy sheet pan chicken fajita recipe. It is so good. It has so much flavor, and it's just a really easy, no fuss recipe that you can add to your weeknight dinner meal. So let me show you how to make it. All right, so first we're gonna start off by prepping our vegetables. So I have 3 different bell peppers. I have a red one, a green one, and a yellow one. But you can certainly just get away with using 2 bell peppers if you want. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut each of my bell peppers into uniform strips. Now, since I'm using 3 bell peppers, I'm not going to need to cut the whole bell pepper because that will be too much. So I'm just cutting half of each bell pepper. And again, I'm cutting them into uniform strips because everything that we're going to be using is going to be cut into strips because typically that's how a fajita is served. And so once I have my red and my yellow and my green bell pepper already cut up, I'm going to move on to my onion. So all I had today was a yellow onion, but if you have a red onion or a purple onion, then that would be great as well. That tastes really good with fajitas, but I'm just using a yellow one today. And once everything is cut up, this is how it's gonna look. Now I'm just transferring those vegetables onto a aluminum foil lined sheet pan. I am using non-stick aluminum foil, and I'm just moving everything over to one side of that sheet pan. And then it's time to work on my chicken. So I have 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut each of these into half horizontally. And so I'm being really careful just to make sure I get even pieces. And once my chicken breast is cut into half, then I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing them into strips, just like I did the vegetables. And once I'm done with the first one, I just move on to the next one. So the same applies here. I'm cutting it in half. And then once I have the chicken breast in half, then I'm gonna go ahead and slice them into strips. And so this will be enough chicken and vegetables for about 4 servings, but if you're making more, then feel free to use more chicken or more vegetables. If you need to get a second sheet pan, you can, but this is enough for about 4 servings and everything will fit on one pan. All right, so once my chicken breast is cut, now I'm gonna go ahead and move it to the same aluminum foil lined sheet pan that my vegetables are on. Now it's time to move on to our seasoning, and I love this combination, you guys. So I have some paprika, some adobo seasoning, some salt, some cilantro leaves, and these are dried cilantro leaves, some cumin, and some chili powder. And I'm just gonna go ahead and measure out all of my seasoning into a small bowl because that just makes it easier to spread the seasoning out on your vegetables and your chicken breast when it's time to actually sprinkle and season everything. So I have my cumin, my chili powder, my cilantro leaves, my adobo seasoning. And if you actually don't have adobo seasoning, then you can certainly just use some garlic powder and some pepper. But I love the flavor and taste of adobo seasoning, so I usually keep some of that on hand. And then I got my salt. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix all of that seasoning together, and then it'll be easier and ready to use when I need it. All right, so now it's just time to put a little bit of oil on top of our vegetables and the chicken breast. So I'm using canola oil. Vegetable oil will work as well. So I'm putting about a tablespoon of oil on the vegetables and a tablespoon on the chicken breast. Now it's time to sprinkle all of that yummy fajita seasoning on top of everything. So I'm taking my time to sprinkle it on top of the vegetables and on my chicken breast. And once everything has been, coated, I'm gonna go ahead and mix it with my hands. So you're gonna get your hands a little bit dirty, but you wanna make sure that you rub that seasoning and that oil in together so everything sticks, because you want everything nice and coated with a little bit of that seasoning on each piece so you can taste it on each bite. So go ahead and get those hands dirty, you guys. You're gonna wash them later, but mix everything together. Now, you can actually just cook it separate like it is, but I oftentimes like mixing my chicken and vegetables together on the sheet pan, just so it's kind of balanced, and it actually looks better in my opinion. So I like the way it looks, and then it's just kind of easier to, you know, grab with your tongs when it's time to serve. Everybody gets equal pieces of everything. So you see me actually combining everything together on the sheet pan, and then it looks a little bit something like this, and it'll be ready to go into the oven. Now I'm going to cook this at 400 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. Definitely check it around the 20-minute mark to see if it is done. You can use a meat thermometer, but if you want it to cook a little bit longer, then maybe 23 to 25 minutes. While the chicken fajitas are cooking in the oven, we can move on to our tortilla shells. So I'm just gonna cook mine on top of the stove, or warm mine up on top of the stove in a large non-stick skillet. This does not have any grease or any oil in it. We're just literally warming up the tortilla shells on top of the stove in the skillet. And so I usually let it warm up for about 15 seconds on both sides. And then once it has been 15 seconds on one side, just go ahead and flip it over. Next, I'm gonna move on to some fresh cilantro. So I love to kind of garnish and flavor and season the chicken fajitas once it's done with some fresh cilantro. So I actually wouldn't skip this step, you guys. It gives it a lot of flavor. So I just grabbed a handful of fresh cilantro, and I'm just gonna finely chop this up so I can sprinkle it on the chicken fajitas once they're done. And then I have some lime, because fresh lime juice tastes really good on these chicken fajitas as well. Once your chicken fajitas are done, they'll look a little something like this, very colorful, and it just tastes so good, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some of that fresh cilantro on top of the chicken fajitas on the sheet pan, but then I'll actually reserve some on the side in case anyone wants to sprinkle some on their individual fajitas as well. And that is it, you guys. This is a really simple, easy way to make chicken fajitas in the oven on one sheet pan. So as soon as you are done eating, you can literally just pick up that aluminum foil, toss it in the trash can, and that's it. Cleanup is super simple. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you did, please leave me a big thumbs up down below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, so you'll never miss when I upload a video. And until next time, you guys, I'll see you later.